possibilities. And what you have to remember is you have two possibilities. You have less than, which means it's going to be and, or greater, which is going to be or. So those are the two possibilities. So in this one, it's less than or equal to. So the two possibilities are 2t minus 3 less than or equal to 5 and 2t minus 3 greater than or equal to negative 5. So we notice that it was less, so it was an and situation. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. Negative 3 plus 3, that's 0. You're left with 2t less than or equal to 8. Since you're multiplying, you're going to divide by 2. So the first part of the solution is t is less than or equal to 8 divided by 2 is 4. The other inequality, we have to add 3 to both sides. So you have 2t, and that's 0, greater than or equal to negative 5 plus 3 gives you negative 2. Divide by 2, so we have t is greater than or equal to negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So if I were to graph this, I have negative 1 and I have 4. It's closed. Why is it closed? Because there's an equal sign. This says t is less than 4, so it's going to go in this direction. This one says t is greater than or equal to negative 1, it's going to go in the other direction. So the solution is anything between and including negative 1 and 4. Before we start talking about the different possibilities, we need to address the 1/2, and we also have to address the minus 3 before we do anything. That is a common mistake that students make. They forget to address the minus 3, or they forget to add 3 to both sides. So you have 1/2, the absolute value of 2w minus 1. That is 0, greater than or equal to 4. And then they forget to address the 1/2, which you can multiply by the reciprocal. So you're left with the absolute value of 2w minus 1 is greater than or equal to 8. And you notice you hear the word greater. That's going to be or. It's going to be an or situation. So what we have is we have two possibilities. 2w minus 1 greater than or equal to 8. Or the other possibility is 2w minus 1 less than or equal to, the signs switch, and the 8 has to be negative. So you add 1 to both sides. So you have 2w is greater than or equal to 9 divided by 2. So you have 9 over 2, which is roughly 4.5. You add 1 to both sides. So you have 2w less than or equal to negative 7 divided by 2. So w is less than or equal to negative 7 over 2, which is negative 3.5. So I have 0. I have negative 7 over 2. I have 9 over 2, and I'm just estimating. It is a closed dot, closed circle. So greater is in this direction, less than is in this direction. So just to repeat what we did, we added 3 to both sides, so 1 plus 3 is 4. We multiplied by the reciprocal, 4 times 2 is 8. Then we had two situations, 2w minus 1 is greater than or equal to 8, or 2w minus 1 is less than or equal to negative 8. We added 1 to both sides and we had a fraction, 9 divided by 2. So you have w greater than or equal to 9/2. Add 1 to both sides, you have negative 7 over 2 divided by 2. It's negative 7 divided by 2, so you have w is less than or equal to negative 7 over 2. And here is the graph and the solution. Remember that we have to address the 5 before we do any type of possible solution. So we have minus 5 on both sides. We have the absolute value, 3z minus 2 is greater than 4. And since it's greater, it's going to be an OR situation. So now that we have the absolute value on one side, we can come up with the two situations. So we have 3z minus 2 is greater than 4, or 3z minus 2 less than negative 4. Remember that if this is greater, this is less. If this is 4, this is negative 4. What you do now is you solve for z, and you're going to do the same steps as you would as you were solving an equation. You add 2. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So you have 3z is greater than 6. We have 3 times z. So we're going to go ahead and divide by 3. So we have z is greater than 6 divided by 3 is 2. We're going to do some algebra here, so we're going to add 2 to both sides. So we have 3z, and negative 2 plus 2 is 0, less than negative 2 divided by 3. So z is less than negative 2/3, which is 0.666. So I'm going to go ahead and graph 0, negative 2/3, and then I have 2. And it's open circle, and it's OR. So we have z is less than negative 2/3, so it goes in this direction. Z is greater than 2 goes in this direction. I'm going to draw my arrows to indicate that it goes on both sides. Once again, we have to address the 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to subtract 2. People get intimidated by the fraction, but we're going to work this out together. Okay, we're going to leave the fraction the way it is. We have m divided by 4 minus 3, and that's absolute value is greater than 6. Since 2 minus 2 is 0 and 8 minus 2 is 6. Now we have two possibilities. We have m over 4, m divided by 4 minus 3 is greater than 6. So you hear the word greater, so it's going to be OR. And then you have m divided by 4 minus 3 less than negative 6. Okay. So I'm going to tell you how can we solve for m. So we're going to add 3 to both sides. We have negative 3 plus 3, which that's 0. We're left with this fraction, so we have m over 4 is greater than 6 plus 3, which gives you 9. Since we're dividing by 4, we're actually going to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 4 over 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1, so you're left with m divided by 1, so it's m is greater than 9 times 4 is 36, and we know that 36 divided by 1 is 36. So we have m is greater than 36. This other side, we're going to add 3 to both sides. So we have m divided by 4, negative 3 plus 3 is 0, less than negative 6 plus 3 is negative 3. Once again, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. 4 divided by 4 is 1. M divided by 1 is m is less than, and we're going to multiply this side times 4. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. So our solution is you have negative 12 on this side, you have 0, you have 36 on the right side. Open circle. Why open circle? Because it's not equal to negative 12. So this is less than, and this is greater than. Okay. So what I recommend you do is watch this video again slower. And if you have any questions, please text me or contact me. Thank you, guys.